Welcome to the Weekly Spanish Review. This is for the third week of Spanish 1 in Mr. Jones's class. This week we went over days of the week, months of the year, and weather. We'll start with days of the week. Here you'll see the Spanish and then the pronunciation in Spanish. So we've got lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, and domingo. And notice in Spanish that the days of the week aren't capitalized and the months aren't capitalized either. Now let's go down to months. We start with enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, Diciembre. This week we also discussed some important dates and used Spanish to say the date. So for Christmas, which is Navidad in Spanish, we would say the 25th of December, which is 25 de diciembre. We talked about Halloween in October, which is the 31st. So if you remember back to your numbers, if we want to say the 31st of October, we could say el 31 de octubre. Now looking at the seasons and the weather, we'll start with seasons. Spring is la primavera. Summer, el verano. We've got el otoño and el invierno. Some phrases for weather. The weather is nice. Hace buen tiempo. Hace calor. Hace frío. Hace mal tiempo, llueve, hace sol, hace fresco, viento, nieva, and qué tiempo hace for what's the weather like. To practice everything we've done up to this point, I asked you to give me a weather report as a project for this week. So in this weather report, I wanted you to write down the days of the week, which we've got up here. I wanted you to pick any place in the world, and then I wanted you to give me the weather report for a few times throughout the day. So let's go through together and complete a few of the days to practice. So the place that I picked was Buenos Aires, Argentina. Now remember in class we talked about in Argentina the seasons are swapped now since they're in the southern hemisphere. So in Lake City, it's verano, or summer. But in Argentina, it's a little bit colder. They are in invierno, which is winter. So let's start by giving the weather forecast for Buenos Aires for lunes. Remember, the first thing I asked you to do was to give me the time in the morning. So if we remember back to our numbers, we can say 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 de la mañana. Alright, so we got in Buenos Aires, 7 de la mañana, and now I asked you to give me any type of weather. So let's say at 7 o'clock in the morning in Buenos Aires, it's cold. So we put hace frío, which is one of our new words for weather. And then the last thing I asked you for was a number. So let's talk about degrees, temperature-wise. Let's say it's 55 degrees. 55. Now the next step is to do the same thing, but we're going to give the forecast for the afternoon. So let's say dos, which is 2, de la tarde. We can give a different weather. Let's say it's sunny. Let's go back to your vocab list if you don't remember it. So sunny is hace sol. And now it's warmed up a little bit. It was 55 a las 7 de la mañana. 2 de la tarde, it's gone from 55 to 61, which is 61. So to recap what we did for this week, we went over days of the week. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, and domingo. We went back and reviewed some time phrases like 7 de la mañana, 2 de la tarde. We learned new phrases about weather like hace frío, hace sol, and we looked at our numbers. Keep reviewing everything that we've learned up to this point and tune in for next week's lesson.